Hi, in this first video, we're going to go over all the setup and breakdown of all the equipment and what you need to get started to do water-based paint at Chartier. Okay, so this is our paint pump. It's a AAA sprayer. Air assisted airless is what that stands for. So this is the old shop, of course. This is our, old setup. But I'm just going to go over a few things that you'll need to know before getting started. So first, before you run the pump at all, you should know that this right here in here is the oil cup. So you'll want to make sure that that is full above the piston here. So there's a cup and there's a piston. You don't have to have it all the way to the top, but you just have to have it enough that it can lubricate that piston. It's a throat seal lubricant. So CA Tech 91-36 throat seal lubricant. We're actually out, so you can just get that right through the color house or whoever your sales rep is. A few more things on the pump. This hose here, it says fluid pressure, but it's actually not. That's the air inlet. So that's where the air will come in from the compressor. This here is the regulator for that air, so the one right next to it. And then in this side is the atomizing air. So once the air gets pumped in through here, it's also going to be picking up the fluid, the paint itself. And then this pump here is actually going to atomize it. So it's going to make it from a liquid into tiny particles that will spray onto the cabinets. This here is the fluid hose. So you can see here coming from the bottom that there's a pickup tube that siphons the paint from the bucket. It goes up into the pump here. The piston, pumps it. It atomizes, and then it goes out through this blue fluid line that connects to spray gun. This blue line on the spray gun is the fluid, and the red one is the air. So it's labeled air, and then this blue one that's covered in paint is fluid. If you ever take it off, you will quickly see that that is indeed where the paint is. So it all kind of atomizes together in this gun. So as we're getting started, you'll need to make sure that the top is filled with oil. And then other than that, you're ready to get started. These two knobs here will always be turned off. So in the forward position, as you start your day and as you end your day. So you see they're both turned forward here. To turn either one on, you just open it. Okay. So when we're getting started, we actually don't need the atomized air on yet. That's just when you're about to spray. So to feed air into the pump, we turn on this air. Right now, the lines are filled with gun and line cleaner in this orange bucket here. So it's got it all labeled. Gun and line cleaner. Okay. You can get this through your supplier too. You're going to mix it in a 10-to-1 ratio and just keep it in this bucket. I typically keep the gun and line cleaner in this bucket for as long as it's good until it's pretty gross. You can just kind of see it should be cloudy a little bit as it gets diluted with paint and other water. But so when you come in the morning, it'll be loaded with your gun and line cleaner, which I'll show you that in our breakdown. But to start up, you're going to turn on your compressed air inlet. Put this cover back over here so yeah, road that oil. We want to keep that nice and clean. So turn it on. I like to drain the gun and line cleaner from the lines, and then we're going to flush it with water. So I have a little hole cut in. I just like to drain it back into the bucket, and then I'll switch it over to water. I always like to wear my respirator for this part too, because it can get pretty gross in here.
You can see the pump is trying to pick up, the siphon is trying to pick up, there's nothing there, so it's just kind of sucking it in. Now I'll dip it into some clean water to just flush out any leftover gut and line cleaner.
Let me turn this off for a second. So I've got a bucket of clean water here. Now that I've flushed out the gut and line cleaner, I'm just going to rinse it with some clean water. We can get this gut and line cleaner bucket out of the way. You won't need this until you clean up in the evening. So I've got my bucket of clean water. Just simply place the siphon tube in it. It doesn't look clean, but it is a clean bucket. And then I always keep a spit bucket nearby. Since there's chemical residue in the lines, I really don't like to contaminate my clean water. I like to keep it clean. So I kind of just have this spit bucket here. I'll run it through. There's not really an exact time, to be honest. Probably like a minute or so of flushing it, and then it'll be good to load up with paint. Turn my
It'll suck up the water.
That's pretty good for demonstration purposes. Now, if you're ready, you can mix up your paint, primer, whatever you're going to spray that day, and then put this siphon tube right in there. I'll cover that in another video. For now, let's go over breakdown. It's pretty much the same thing in reverse. So, you know what? Maybe I will paint, and then I'll do breakdown when there's actually paint in the lines.